kingdom building.
All right. Shemot 25, verse 1. Let's do it.
See everybody there? I heard almost. Okay. Oh, you there? Hallelujah.
Exodus 25, Shemot 25.
Then Yahuwah spoke to Moshe,
I
saying,
think there's some people still turning there.
all right.
About 5 more seconds. Simca, you there? Exodus 25? No. She almost there. Oh, praise to the Most High. Y'all, Simca been holding it down at EB Academy, y'all. Man.
Hallelujah.
Yes, yes.
All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Then Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel that they bring me an offering.
All right. Are y'all there? Okay, it's still a lot of shoveling, Bakir Luke. I don't know. Let's start that one more time.
All righty. Then Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel.
Speak to who?
The children of Israel.
And who did Yahuwah tell to do that? So we see here, it's all throughout the Torah, but we just want to point it out right now that Yahuwah was not speaking to everybody at once, right? He spoke to the head and told the head to tell this to the children of Israel. Okay, let's see what he tells Moshe. Verse 2.
Speak to the children of Israel that they bring me an offering.
That they do what?
Bring me an offering.
Okay, so Yahuwah told Moshe this. Yahuwah didn't tell the people this. So the people just had to trust Moshe when he came and said, hey, this is from the Most High, y'all. I need everybody to bring an offering of gold, silver. I need everybody to bring an offering, as y'all feel led, gold, silver, blue, scarlet, whatever valuables you have, basically. Badger skin, etc., etc. Keep going, verse 2.
Speak to the children of Israel that they bring me an offering. From everyone who gives it willingly with his heart, you shall take my offering.
For everyone who gives it willingly. So you can imagine Moshe's like, all right, y'all, it's from the Most High. Whoever, feels led, we're gonna open up an offering. Anybody who feels led, whoever's on your heart, we need some gold. We need some silver. We need some McCabe. Boy, you could imagine the rebels? Oh, man. Oh, here he go. Now he talking about, we had just got this from Egypt. And he talking about give it to him. See? Look at this. And this was Yahuwah told Moshe to do this. And Moshe like, look, y'all, this is so the Most High will dwell with us. Look at him talking about so the Most High will dwell with us. He talked to me. He already talked to me. That's why I submit Yahuwah specifically said, from everyone who gives it with a willing heart. Why would he have to say that? Why would Yahuwah specifically have Moshe to say that? Because I submit it was people in the assembly, in the wilderness who just didn't have that heart for it. There were rebels Yahuwah knew there were rebels in the camp. So he said, open this up for those who have a willing heart. You see what I'm saying? Because those who have a willing heart, they're going to give, and then I'm going to dwell amongst y'all for those who have a willing heart. Y'all listen. I bet Korah was one of those ones who's like, nah, man, I ain't giving, man. Yeah, nah. I bet Korah was one of them. Go, that's Moshe trying to get some of our stuff. That's all that is. Korah talking to his followers probably already after this one. Yeah, I told y'all, see? And Moshe's literally bringing out a word from Yahuwah, so because it's time to build the kingdom. It's time. It's kingdom building. It's preparation for the building of the kingdom. A big part of that is to be very willing, have a willing heart to sacrifice, to give, to basically give up your possessions in a sense. That's what you see. They just got it from Mitzrayim. I think this is a year in. I think when we go a couple of Torah portions down, they give more specifics, like in Exodus 40. I believe it was a year in. They're a year in. How do you think they got all those possessions? Y'all want to know how they got all those possessions? Let's see if anybody knows.
When they left Egypt.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Well, when they left Egypt from the Egyptians.
That's true. Yeah. Do you have something different or something to add to it?
I was just going to say winning battles, the victories that they had within the wilderness.
That's a good answer. I didn't think about that. That's probably a possibility too. That's not the answer I was looking for though, but actually probably true too.
Kafel Hudim words do. Yahuwah gave it to him because he told them to ask their neighbors gold and silver and garments.
Boom, jackpot. Okay, now you got to pull up the scripture and actually read it. Okay, it's all right. I think it's like Exodus 12 or 13. I don't remember either. Anybody have it? I think it's like Exodus 13, one of those. No, she's right on the money. That's the exact answer I was looking for. All right, Exodus 12, what? Al-Bakir Luke, bring it out. Oh, y'all gotta be quick with the trigger, man. Hold on, let me see. I better not find it before y'all. It's 12:35. Okay, Bakir Luke, let's get it. Exodus 12:35.
Now the children of Israel had done according to the word of Moshe, and they had asked from the Egyptians articles of silver, articles of gold, and
Articles
clothing.
of what? Wait. Say it again.
Articles of silver, articles of gold,
And what else?
and clothing.
All right, start the whole verse over.
Now the children of Israel had done according to the word of Moshe, and they had asked from the Egyptians articles of silver, articles of gold, and clothing.
Okay, and then what happened?
And Yahuwah had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they granted them what they requested. Thus they plundered the Egyptians.
There you go. And what was it? It said articles of gold, articles of silver, articles of clothing. Okay? That's what they took from the Egyptians. And the scriptures say they plundered the Egyptians. It really means they saved the Egyptians. But this is important. It's very important because I was just in Exodus 12. Then you go down to Exodus 25. This is only a year later. What happens? In verse 3, read verse 3 again. Exodus 25, verse 3.
And this is the offering which you shall take from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet thread.
That's clothing, ain't it? That's the stuff needed to make clothing, right? What else?
Fine linen,
Ain't that clothing? Yep. And what else?
and goat's hair,
This is all things used for covering and clothing. So, and then it's a whole lot of other stuff too, though. It's a whole lot of other stuff. So that may be some of the spoils they got from war, different things like that. But I was looking specifically for the gold, silver, because that was plundered from the Egyptians who had told them to ask their neighbors, and the Egyptians gave it to them. It was a transfer of wealth that happened, an instant transfer of wealth. That's coming again. It's going to happen. It's this instant transfer of wealth that happened from the heathen to Yasharel. So when they left, listen, when they left Mitzrayim, they didn't leave Mitzrayim poor. They left with great possessions. They came out of Mitzrayim with great possessions, great wealth. No wonder Pharaoh went after them when they went and split the sea, when Yahuwah split the sea for them through Moshe. No wonder Pharaoh was like, oh, no, we're going to go after them. Yeah, they left. They took all the wealth from Mitzrayim. They had all the possessions. Pharaoh didn't just go, I submit Pharaoh didn't just go after them because he was angry at them, even though he probably was too. But for him to be like, man, we're going to go through the sea and come after them, they had all the possessions of Mitzrayim in their hand. Could you imagine how that felt? All the slaves walking out with all the gold and silver of Mitzrayim. They just shining over there. Okay. Oh, no. And then knowing that they don't have nowhere near the might you got, we got chariots and stuff. Y'all just going to walk out with our possessions? No, it ain't going to happen. Let's run up on them. And you was like, yeah, I'm going to get the last laugh on this one. They think they just finna come up on my people like that. And he destroyed all of them at that last run. So now they celebrate, oh, praise to the Most High. Yahuwah drowned them in the sea. They had that great praise and worship moment and all that stuff like that. And it was through. There were different tests that happened. Now a year later, Yahuwah like, yeah, I want you to give up the gold and silver. This is how it works, y'all. This is how it works. Only those with a willing heart, though. Only those with a willing heart. Because he knew some people they're gonna be mad at you on this one, Moshe. Because it's really about me. It's not. They really mad at me. It's not about you. But those with the willing heart, I need you to ask it, because those with a willing heart, they're gonna give it. They're gonna do it. So you can't worry about those who don't have it in them to do it. This word is going out for those who are of me. You see what I'm saying? That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And so it goes through all the different things. When you read, it's blue, purple, scarlet, thread, fine linen, goat's hair, ram skins dyed red. That's adamim, though. So that's not, I submit, that's probably not the red like we thinking of. Like, it's probably like adamim is more like the soil red. If you ever seen a red heifer, it's like more of like a brownish red. Kidney bean, oh, that's through. Yeah. Like kidney bean red, you know what I'm saying? Or if y'all know when y'all call a Cody red, when you say that she's red, I know in Texas we used to say that about a lot of people from Louisiana. Oh man, yeah, she from Louisiana, she red bone. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a light skin, it's like a brown, you know what I'm saying? But we call it red. Just like someone who's super light in Texas, we'll call it yellow bone. We would call it yellow. But it was not the yellow like a crayon yellow at all. It's like just a light brown, But adamim is more like that type of red, like the soil. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't used to say that yellow bone or nothing like that? Nah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't know if that was still a thing, because, So, all right. So, oil for the liar. So they had this stuff for you. For Yahuwah to ask them to get, they had all this to letting you know how much possessions they had. Ram skins, dyed red, badger skins, which I actually believe is beavers. When you look at the Hebrew word. Acacia wood. We're going to talk about that one right now. We're going to talk about that one tonight. Oil for the light. Spices, they had all that stuff. For the anointing oil and for the sweet incense. Onyx stones, these are precious stones. And stones to be set in the ephod. Y'all know the precious stones that was set in the ephod came from the people. Like, these were precious stones. They had wealth, y'all. They had possessions, y'all. They had possessions. And let them make me a sanctuary. Now, and then Yahuwah like, well, let them make me a set-apart place. I know, see, because what happens is that happened a lot of times in the church where, pastor be like, I need y'all to give because we got the building fund. The building. New building we're going to make. We're going to do a new building. It was like every church had that. Time for the new building. I just need you to give. Oh, snap. I just heard somebody about to give 1,000. Oh, yeah. It'd be like a never-ending building fund. And finally, after 38 years, boy, they finally got the building. You know? And Pastor got the Bentley, though, but they didn't get the building yet. And then finally, after 39 years, the building's there. And so some people who might have been a little church hurt from some of those experiences, you see Moshe coming to the Mishpachah with this, like, hey, this false soldier, Yahuwah will dwell with us. We're going to build a sanctuary. We're going to build, Yahuwah said, give your possessions. Some of y'all start twitching. But this is the real deal. Actually, there's some validity to it because this is real. This is what Yahuwah does. This is what Yahuwah does because these things are a sacrifice. You got to understand that. So now this is to build the tabernacle, right? And so the tabernacle had to be made from the offerings of the people. So now think about it. That gold that you have gave, it's been melted down, and some of the gold you gave them messed around and became a part of the gold that covers the Ark of the Covenant. Y'all see what I'm saying? The table of showbread in the holy place that's before Yahuwah day by day. The gold, the acacia wood that was made to make that table came from the wood you offered sacrificially. That's before Yahuwah's face. So every time, see, Yahuwah, his mind ain't like ours. He knows every little piece of that gold and who it came from. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like it's a piece of you in there. You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all got to understand how that's why it had to come from the people. He's like, yeah, y'all know Yahuwah could have just been like, I'm gonna just cause Egypt to give all the possessions to Moshe, and then we'll just build the tabernacle. No, oh no, he had to give to everybody, and then they had to give it. It had to come from. That's why I said a willing heart, because they had to feel it for a year and have that as theirs, so it can to them feel like it's theirs. To where Yahuwah telling them to give it now, it has to come out of their heart. It has to come out of their heart. That's the concept of the offerings today. That's the concept of the Asar offering, the tithe, all those things like that. Yahuwah bless you with that job. Yahuwah said, I'm going to open up this door. Okay, please let me get this job. Most High, please. Musha, can you pray for me? I got an interview tomorrow. Most definitely. Most definitely. We praying, and then we get the message. All praise to the Most High, I got the job. All praise to Yahuwah. Yahuwah literally gave you that job. There was 20-something other people interviewing for that job. You interviewed, and you the one who got that job. And then Yahuwah says, tithe. I'll pray to the Most High, and now I need you to give 10% of that back. And it's like, okay, I'll do it sometimes. But see, I got this other stuff I wanted to pay for. So, I'm gonna just skip this time. And then next time I do like 3% because, bills, you know what I'm saying? And so, man, look, how you don't know the whole reason why he gave you that job is so that you'll be able to give towards his works on the arrest. So that you get time to give it back towards the king, that goes towards the things of the kingdom, that go towards the heads and the needs of the Mishpachah. That's what the tithes go to. How you know that's not the whole reason why he let you get that job? And so you could, and so there'll be more that can go towards the kingdom and the needs. But you like, man, but these bills. Listen, let me tell y'all something when it comes to tithing. There's always going to be an excuse not to tithe. There's always going to be something that come up. Listen, I'll tell you from someone who's been doing this for years, you got to just do it. Because it's always, man, these bills. Oh, man, that bill. Oh, snap, I didn't know that. Oh, man, that came out. Listen, there's always going to be something. It's about putting Yahuwah first. It's about saying, you know what, but Yahuwah the reason why I got this job. So, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I'm showing myself to be grateful for this blessing, and I'm gonna tithe. I'm gonna tithe and figure everything else out. This is how we've been moving for years, and you know what? We've always been through. Told out to Yahuwah and Yahusha. Man, but it's a mindset, it's a perspective. Yahuwah will give you a thing. I can't remember where we talked about this. Somebody brought this up. Maybe it was on one of the calls or something. Maybe it was Bakir. It was one of y'all. I can't remember. But Yahuwah will give you a thing, and then it's time to. A lot of times it might be you might need to offer it back up to him, or an aspect of it. But praise Yahuwah that we got heads that serve Yahuwah no matter what. Man, praise Yahuwah for that, man. For real. For real. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Con, so this came up with Hadassah and I this week. We were talking about the parable of the talents and how, so y'all know y'all had, you had like, you know, I ain't gonna read the whole parable, but there was a servant given 5 talents, another servant given 3 talents, and then one servant given 1 talent. The guy that had 5 made 10, the guy had 3 made 7. Then the man that had 1 said, look, I'm just gonna bury it in the ground because I knew you was a hard man reaping where you didn't sow. We was on the way back from the gym, and it just kind of hit me. I was like, man, the issue that servant had was that he didn't want to work and then give Yahuwah back the labor. That was the issue, because Yahuwah had given him this thing, and you got to go back and read it, man. It's crazy, because they like, it's exactly what you're talking about in Exodus. They like, man, I knew that you were a hard man reaping where you didn't sow and gathering where you didn't lay anything down. The issue wasn't the work. The issue was, I don't want you to take what I work for, what's mine. So that ties into money, of course, because Yahuwah dealt with me on that. With tithing last year, maybe 2 years ago, I don't remember. But when Yahuwah gave me, it had to be 2 years ago. Because when Yahuwah gave me a job, he said, you got to tithe every time. Because he had me leave one job, it was a great job. And then when we got another one, I was that voice on the other side of the phone, man, can you pray I get this job? And he's like, hey, I'm going to give it to you, but you got to give everything back. You got to tithe everything into it. And he's been blessing us ever since. But it's not just about money. Because it's about marriage, it's about your children, because you'll spend 15, 20, 25 years in your marriage perfecting this thing, and then Yahuwah going to come and say, hey, give it back to me now. You'll spend 20 years, 25 years, 10, 15 years raising your child, and then he's going to say, I want you to send your son somewhere else to get married. I want you to send your daughter somewhere else to get married. So it's all about, it's like, because the person who, he said, man, you don't want to give back the interest, the profit on what I gave you. He said, you a wicked servant. So it ties into exactly what you're saying, because we had to realize that, and I ain't gonna be too long, but just had to realize that everything, like, okay, let me just read this real quick.
Go ahead and read that. Yeah, you can go ahead and bring it out, man. Go ahead and bring out that parable
Okay.
of the talents. Yeah.
Yes, sir. You want to say something real quick?
Yeah, just real quick. Part of it comes from the illusion of thinking that it's yours in the first place. So the master gave them the talents. The talents belong to the master. And so the third servant, the one who went and hid the talent and didn't do anything with it, he was moving under the illusion that it was his to do with what he willed. And that's the same with the things that the Most High gives us, with our marriages, with our children, with our careers and jobs. it comes from the illusion of thinking that it's yours in the first place to do with what you will.
That's real. That's real. I remember when the Most High blessed me with my first house. Man, this is so cool to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. First house. Then at the time, a family member down there needed somewhere to stay. Nah, this is my house, because I like to, I like to be comfortable. I like to, what I'm talking about? I like to be able to just walk around how I feel. You be having all this little selfish stuff you be thinking, dude, out in the family member, out there. I'm like, man, I just got, this is my house. I just got this. And basically, Most High, I had to, like, the Most High put on my heart, like, why you think you remember how you got approved for that house when you wasn't supposed to get approved and all those things like that? You thought that was just for you? Like, yeah, nah. So we had to let the family members stay with us for quite a while, you know what I'm saying? And but when I kept that perspective, it was through, it was a lot smoother to go through the inconveniences to have another dude staying with us, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to if I just had the wrong mindset about it to just be it's my house, Now, was it a lot of pressure? Yeah, Yeah, he come home, it was a younger, family member, you know how that is. Come home from work, he's just chilling, boy. Feet up, watching TV. Hey, man. So how many jobs you apply for today, bro? Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Cause yesterday I did though. You feel me?
Waiting on the call back from yesterday.
Bruh. Man, look, I need you to get on it, okay? Oh, most definitely. Hey man, why it smell like weed in here, man? Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know. Hey, look. Look, man, don't. Hey, look. While you staying here, you might was doing what you was doing before, but you ain't doing none of that in there. None of that in there. Oh, most definitely. So y'all know he was gone quick, boy. That was the deal breaker with the weed, boy. That didn't last long after that. Like, man, he be tripping. So I found somewhere else to be at, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all though. I appreciate y'all. But nevertheless, the point is I had to make sure I was showing you who that I was. I wasn't acting like getting beside myself like he the one who didn't give me that house, you know what I'm saying, at the time. So all praise to the Most High. All right, let's do the parable of the talents. Let's do that.
Yeah, it's in Luke 19.
Okay, Bakir Lou, let's bring it out. Luke 19. Verse 11. Everybody, let's go to this one. That's a through point that he brought out.
This is the meanest.
Because that's, I think it's the exact same thing.
It is.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. Is Mina silver? Is that silver?
I think it's a weight of silver.
Okay. All right, we can go ahead, Bakir Aloof. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Chapter 19:11.
Oh, 1911. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now, as they heard these things, he spoke another parable, because he was near Jerusalem, and because they thought the kingdom of Elua would appear immediately. Therefore he said, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. So he called 10 of his servants, delivered to them 10 minas. And he said to them, do business till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent a delegation after him, saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. And so it was that when he returned, having received the kingdom, he then commanded these servants to whom he had given the money to be called to him, that he may know how much every man had gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Master, your mina has earned 10 minas.
So it's about being fruitful and multiplying. You see what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 17, and he said to him, well done, thou servant, because you were faithful in a very little, have authority over 10 cities. And the second came, saying, Master, your mina has earned 5 minas. Likewise, he said to him, you also be over 5 cities.
So it's about having dominion over regions, which is interesting because that's what it means about being over 5 cities. It's actually have dominion over a whole region. That's what principalities do. They have dominion over whole regions. See what I'm saying? Keep going.
Then another came, saying, Master, here is your mina, which I have kept put away in a handkerchief. For I feared you, because you are an austere man. You collect what you did not deposit, and reap what you did not sow. And he said to him, out of your own mouth I will judge you, you wicked servant. You knew that I was an austere man, collecting what I did not deposit, and reaping what I did not sow. Why then did you not put my money in the bank, that at my coming I might have collected it with interest? And he said to those who stood by, take the mina from him, and give it to him who has 10 minas. But they said to him, Master, he has 10 minas. For I say to you that to everyone who has will be given, and from him who does not have, even that what he has will be taken away from him.
Look at verse 27.
But bring here those enemies of mine who did not want me to reign over them, and slay them before me.
That's it. They rejected leaders. You reject the leaders of the Most High. You want Babylon to reign over you. We don't really want the kingdom. That's the issue.
Right.
But go ahead. Did you have anything else on there? Yeah.
So, because in that parable, it was an exchange of what you had for the currency of the kingdom. You had to bring your silver, your gold, and you exchanged that for what mattered in the kingdom, which was cities. Because I was like, man, this don't make no sense. How you bring 5 pounds of gold and get 5 whole cities? But it's the currency of the kingdom, and this is what. So I just read this and then I yield it. But in prayer on Shlishi, so in prayer I heard a voice that said, I'm losing myself, kind of like sad that I'm losing myself. It was, I don't know a better way to explain that. But then I heard the Ruach say, the aim of the heart, the aim of the wicked servant's heart was to keep the increase from the talent that he was given. The aim of his heart was himself. Pesach 2024, I said, I'm going to give you the aim of your heart. If it's him, this is the translated version, but if it's him, you'll have more of him. If it's you, even what you have will be taken. That's the end of Matthew 16. So in Matthew 16 it says, whosoever lays his life down for my name's sake, whosoever loses his life for my sake shall find it, but whoever seeks to keep his life, or, keep his life will lose it. I messed that quote up, but y'all know what I'm saying. Save his life. Okay. Then he said, I didn't create anything to serve itself. The sun doesn't shine on itself. The tree doesn't feed itself. The rain doesn't water itself. Man was never created to serve himself using the talents Yahuwah gave him. So this just goes back to Exodus 25 and why the mindset of sacrifice has to be there, because you're created to serve the kingdom.
That's huge. Yeah, and that goes back to what we talked about last week surrounding man worship. So because when you're dealing with man worship, your whole goal is to really serve yourself. You know, that's it. You'll you'll be about serving yourself, maybe, your children, your wife. That's it though. Like as far as the kingdom and stuff like that, that's just, you just don't have the capacity to deal. When you're doing self-worship, you don't really have the capacity to be on nothing like that. And so Yahuwah will literally give you something. He'll literally bless you and give you something, a blessing. And it's really so you can bless others, so you can minister to others. It'll be so you can, do something for the kingdom. And you'll literally receive that blessing. And in your mind, I earned this. You may think the Most High in the beginning, but when you're dealing with self-worship, you forget things quick. You don't hold on to that. Give it about 6 months, and it's your job. This is my job. I earned this, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just about us being able to zakar and being able to keep Yahuwah in the forefront. I was joking though about that story earlier. I can't remember why he ended up leaving. I don't think it was about the weed though. I had to think about that. I can't remember why. I was playing around though. I was being a little playful. But I can't remember. I think I did end up having to, ask him to leave. But that was after I gave him a lot of chances and stuff like that. But nevertheless, I'll go ahead.
I have something else real quick. It's on the scripture we were just talking about. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. It's like in 4 different ways, 4 different times in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And I used to think when I read, whoever desires to save his life, I used to think about salvation, and things like that. Yahushua HaMashiach saves us and all that. But in context of what we're talking about, that actually makes more sense. For whoever desires to save his life, like save your life, like the servant saved the minas. Like you're trying to keep your life for yourself. Whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it.
No, that's right on the money. That's the. That is the. It's basically about getting out of yourself. So, all right, let's keep reading. Let's go back to Exodus 25. I think we're on verse 6, I think. Yeah, I don't know what verse we're in. Okay, let's just start with verse 6. Just all the different things.
All for the light, and spices for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let me make a sanctuary that I may dwell among you.
So Yahuwah was like, and let them make me a Kodesh place that I may dwell with them. And it's based on these offerings with a willing heart. Keep going, verse 9.
According to all that I show you, that is, the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all its furnishings, just so you shall make it.
So these things that Yahuwah is showing Moshe, I submit he's probably showing it to him. It's probably not just words. He's probably showing him visions. And he's like, yeah, Do this as according to all that I'm showing you. Because these things are patterned off of the Shamayim. So it's about the Shamayim meeting the Eretz. Malek was literally just talking about this in the teaching he did last Shabbat. At least that he posted. I think it was from last Shabbat though. Of how the tabernacle, because Malek was talking about the New Jerusalem. And how the New Jerusalem, you know, in Revelation 21 when it talks about the New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven, and he was talking about how, and we've been talking about this for years, so it's confirmation how the New Jerusalem is not literally a city that's coming down. It's going to come down, you know, it's a big city. It's going to be floating, and it's going to like float down, you know. And he was showing how that's not what that means, literally. You see what I'm saying? How we're going to have, we are the, number one, we are Jerusalem. We are the, which is interesting because y'all remember, we declare we are Jerusalem. We declare we're from Jerusalem. Just a few weeks ago. But that we will be building the city. Just like how, and he was showing how the tabernacle was in the Shamayim, and the way for the tabernacle to come down from the Shamayim and to be on the Eretz, what did he do? He showed Moshe the blueprint, and he had them to literally build it. And you know how it talks about in Revelation, it was deep with Malek. Y'all look at that teaching when y'all get a chance, because y'all know in Revelation when it talks about the streets of gold in the kingdom, he was like, yeah. And he was mentioning this passage. He was like, yeah, in the tabernacle, yeah, they had to give the gold. They had, you know, for them to build a different, he was like, yeah, it's going to be streets of gold. It's going to be coming from the people. It's going to be coming from the people, the nations. And we're going to have so much gold, we're going to be able to make streets. That's going to be our concrete. We're going to be able to make streets out of it. You see what I'm saying? That's the kingdom. I'm like, man, that's it. That's it. Because that's what you see here. Yahuwah said, make sure it's based off of the pattern of what I show you, because it's patterned off of the Shamayim. This is how the Shamayim is invading the Eretz. Through his people. Bringing something that's in the unseen and bringing it into the seen realm. Okay. Now we're going to look at the ark, okay? Verse 10. Let's go.
And they shall make an ark of acacia wood.
Of what?
Acacia wood.
Of what?
Acacia wood.
Okay, so acacia wood. I want us to look at this because this is what the Ark of the Covenant is made out of. Actually, that's what a whole lot of stuff in the tabernacle is made out of. Acacia wood is very significant, extremely significant. It's actually is also mentioned as shittim wood, but in Hebrew it's shittah wood, or etz shittah. So that's sheen. Man, hold up, we're gonna get it in there. And then it's a tet. Oh man, hold up. You know, y'all just roll with that. And a hay, shittah. And so in the pictograph Hebrew, that would be, it's a little easier. Sheen, tet, and then the hay is the boom. Ah, man, that's too quick. I was trying to go fast with it. Shittah, hay. Y'all able to see that? Shittah, sheen, tet, hay. That's the wood that was used to make the Ark of the Covenant. Acacia tree. The acacia tree is very common in Africa, in Eastern Africa and Northeast Africa, which is where the area where we would call Middle East is at. Have y'all ever seen Black Panther? And when he had that vision of his dad in front of that tree, that's an acacia tree. It's probably one of the most common trees in Africa. What'd you say? Man, hallelujah. Very significant tree. Very significant tree. So the breakdown for Shittah, so you have the oh, okay. So sheen is to consume, and then the tet can mean to surround, it can mean a basket, a gift, an offering. And then you got the hay, which y'all know that's revelation, the ruach, submission, etc., etc. So it's about consuming the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh. Consuming the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh. My handwriting is fire when I don't do it in cursive. Man, it's fire. That is flame. Yeah, for real. Represent. Oh, man. So, it's about consuming the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh, okay? Consuming the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh. And we'll look at, let's read Ephesians 5, chapter 5, verse 18. To get that concept. Ephesians 5, verse 18, let's get it.
And do not be drunk with wine,
And do not be drunk with wine,
in which is dissipation, but be filled with the Spirit.
Okay.
With Ruach.
So, this is talking about do not consume wine, and then or do not be filled with wine, which is something you consume, right? That's something you drink. In contrast, be filled with the Ruach. So, a way you can look at this is don't consume wine, consume the Ruach. See what I'm saying? Let's look at let's look at Romans chapter 14, verse 17. Chapter 14, verse 17.
For the kingdom of Eluah is not eating and drinking,
But what is it?
but righteousness
And what else?
and peace
And what else?
and joy
And what else?
in the Holy Spirit.
All right. So it says, for the kingdom of Eluah is not eating and drinking, but it's basically saying, but it's the Ruach HaKodesh, because when it's talking about righteousness, peace, and joy, it's talking about in the Ruach. Romans 14:7 says, for the kingdom of Eluah is not eating and drinking, but righteousness and peace and joy in the Ruach. So it's contrasted eating and drinking and the Ruach HaKodesh in a sense. You see what I'm saying? So in a sense, it's about receiving the Ruach HaKodesh. And figuratively, that's what consuming the Ruach means. Instead of consuming food and things like that, you can instead consume the Ruach. You can instead consume the Ruach. That's the aspect of the Chittim wood, okay? That's one aspect of it. Another aspect of this is also about Yahuwah consuming the sacrifice of submission. It's about Yahuwah consuming the sacrifice of submission, okay? Consuming sacrifice of submission. Consuming the sacrifice of submission. Because y'all know that hay also can mean reverence, it can mean submission, it can mean obedience. You see what I'm saying? That's all the aspects of the hay. All right, give me Bakir Luf. Leviticus chapter 9, verse 24. Leviticus 9, Vayikra 9, verse 24.
And fire came out before Yahuwah and consumed the burnt offering.
And did what?
Consumed the burnt offering.
All praise to the Most High. Now that's a big deal because today we had an offering, and I remember I was praying that the Most High consumed the offering, that the Most High consumed the offering. Then Immunah saw something surrounding Yahusha actually consuming the offering. I was like, man, that's crazy. All praise to the Most High. Because Yahuwah, he will consume your offerings. That's why he wants you to bear fruit. The tet is in a sense of like a basket of fruit, like an offering. That's the concept of the tet. So it's about Yahuwah consuming the offering, the fruit, the sacrifice of submission. Give me 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22. Chapter 15, verse 22.
So Samuel said, has Yahuwah as great delight in the burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahuwah?
Read that one more time.
Has Yahuwah as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahuwah? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
To obey is better than what?
Sacrifice.
That word obey is to shema. To shema, to hear and do. To hear and do. That's about. You can also look at it and say submission is better than sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Etc., etc. Keep going.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed than the fat of rams.
To heed, that's the concept of listening to be able to take heed, is better than the fat of rams. And they're saying that's pretty much saying the same thing, because Shema don't means just to obey, it means to hear and do. So the reason why, and we talked about this millions of times, the reason why to Shema is better than sacrifice is because to Shema is a sacrifice. To Shema is probably the best form of sacrifice. Total and utter obedience is probably the best form of an offering, in a sense. When you're trying to say, we want to make sure that we bearing fruit. We want to make sure we don't go, oh man, Pesach coming. We need to make sure that we don't go empty-handed. How do you bear fruit? Yeah. Total and utter obedience and submission is one of the greatest ways to bear fruit. Total and utter obedience and submission to Yahuwah and Yahusha. We think this stuff is hard. It's not. Yahuwah makes this stuff plain. He makes this stuff clear. Just love Yahuwah. Don't when he gives you a word, receive it. When he tells you to do something, do it. Literally, the Most High will tell us to do 20 different things. We don't do it, or we be hesitant. We procrastinate on doing it. We wait till we feel like it to do what the Most High said. We talk back to Yahuwah. We grumble in our hearts. We do all these things and then be surprised when the Most High not pleased with you. Really be surprised. Like, I don't know why, but I don't understand. What? How? Yeah, because literally, that's all you got to do. and you'll bear fruit that's pleasing to him, and he'll consume your offering. Complete and utter submission and obedience. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's about Yahuwah consuming the sacrifice of submission. That's the acacia tree. Let's get Psalms chapter 4, verse 5. That's not the only scripture that talks about this. Let's try to go through these real quick. There's just a couple of scripture references.
Offer the sacrifices of righteousness.
Offer what?
The sacrifices of righteousness.
Offer what?
The sacrifices of righteousness.
Keep going.
And put your trust in Yahuwah.
You see that? Hold on. That's important because it's showing that just trust in Yahuwah is a fruit that's pleasing to the Most High. That's a sacrifice to the Most High. That's a sacrifice of righteousness. Stop second guessing him when he's telling you to do stuff. Yeah, but it's like what we was talking about with the tithing. The Most High said in the tithe. That's in the Torah. That's all through the scriptures. But these bills. But man, them groceries, man, it don't went up. And the prices like, and you know, a lot of times this is the majority of the time. The majority of the time, you know, a lot of it is just because of the way you moving with the money who is giving you. You know, a lot of the times, it's just things that you need to readjust around in your lifestyle. And then it'll be a lot smoother for you to be able to move in obedience to that law in time. A lot of times it's your tithe money is going to Netflix, Hulu, DoorDash fees. Oh man, that's I don't deal with DoorDash. Well, I told y'all what happened when Keisha came that time. Woo! I don't think I did DoorDash again after that. And that's been well over a year. So I've been Uber Eats. You use DoorDash? Man. I remember when Radar Yahoo, he was still in high school, so this might have been like 2 years. No, he just graduated high school. Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah. They was still in high school DoorDashing. DoorDash let anybody DoorDash. Radar Yahoo like, yeah, me and my own boy, I just rolled with him while he was DoorDashing. Who you talking about? So and so. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that's who delivering people food? Oh man. The next thing you know, we had Keisha come by the assembly. We had a leadership meeting. And she brought like a third of the food that was ordered. She came in with a two-piece. It's the same time of year because it was South by Southwest. Yep. It was the same time, like 2 years. It was probably exactly 2 years ago. It was South by Southwest. We had a leadership meeting. Keisha came with a two-piece on. She came with some. Nope. She had something like this. Stomach out, and then something right here. That's it. And she pulled up to the assembly to deliver the food. Oh yeah, here go your food. I'm like, all right, told her, much appreciated. Come in there, man. 75% of the food ain't there. I don't remember how much. I might be exaggerating, but there was a lot of stuff missing. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, this is DoorDash. You know, this is their fault. I paid for it. Man, they wasn't even trying to. That's why I never dealt with them again after that. They customer service. Hey, that way you help you today. Hey, yeah. So the people I had just placed the order, and can you repeat that again? I like, man, I just placed this order, and only a third of it. Can you repeat that again? Oh man. Okay. I tried to place an order. And then half of it was missing. I just need the rest of my order, please. Oh, okay, so you were happy with the service? So, I mean, and then we in the middle of a leadership meeting, you know what I'm saying? So, trying to, this dude don't know English like that. So nothing was resolved. It was nothing done. I think I think it might have been back and forth for like an hour. And finally, I just had to go up there. I had to just go up there, leave the meeting, leadership meeting, and go up there. And it was this black-owned spot. So it was South by Southwest, so I went in there, and it was Club City. Club City in there. Y'all remember when I told you about that? I think the most I was probably like, y'all shouldn't have ordered DoorDash or something, because I don't know why all that. After all that, I had to walk through the club. That's why Keisha had on the two-piece. The dude was standing at the door with the whole bottle of Hennessy. This dude was about as big as Shim Chun. Y'all know the big bottle of Hennessy? Not like a mixed drink with Coke and stuff and ice. That dude sitting at the door like this. I'm in my Kodesh clothes. I'm trying to walk by. They're like, all right, what's happening, man? Oh, yeah, what's going on? All right, bro. He's sitting there with a big old bottle. And I'm going in there. And I'm like, hey, I had ordered some fruit from DoorDash, and she already knew who. Oh, yeah, I tried to get an order to the girl. I don't even know. And she gave me the rest of the order. We was through. But the point is, never again, though. Not no DoorDash. Nope. Uber Eats. But the tithe money could be going to that too. Trying to get back to the point. The tithe money could be going back to the tithe money could be going to that. Hulu, Netflix, toll road fees. You didn't have to take the toll road. You didn't have to do that. You could have went the other way. Toll road fees be $400 a month. You just go the other way, you save $400 a month. Go the other way, it'd be 5 more minutes. A little bit earlier. Like, sometimes you gotta look at that stuff. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes you gotta look at that stuff. All right, y'all. My bad on that. My bad. Uber Eats, they customer service, they actually resolve stuff. They'll actually give you your money back for real. All right, Psalm 51:19. My bad, y'all. Let's get back on it. Psalm 51:19.
Then you shall be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offerings and whole burnt offering.
You shall be pleased with what?
With the sacrifices of righteousness.
The sacrifices of righteousness. Just to let you know that righteousness is a sacrifice. Being righteous. That's probably Zadok or Zedek maybe. But it's about submission. Obedience is a sacrifice to Yahuwah. So that's not just in first. We always talk about the 1 Samuel 15:22, where it says obedience is better than sacrifice and things like that. We always talk about that verse, and I'll be like, that's because obedience is a sacrifice. But now I'm showing y'all some other scriptures that's literally showing you that righteousness and obedience is a sacrifice. To put it all together, y'all see what I'm saying? Read Devarim chapter 33, verse 19. Devarim chapter 33, verse 19.
Y'all ready? That's it. I'm getting fast.
No, that's great. That's great. Go ahead and bring it out. It's all right.
They shall call the peoples to the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness.
Say it again.
They shall call the peoples to the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness.
There you go. That's in Torah. That's Devarim chapter 33. That's Torah.
That's it.
Let's go to Romans chapter 12, verses 1 through 2. Everybody know this one. Romans chapter 12, verses 1 through 2.
I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Lord, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice.
You present your bodies a what?
Living sacrifice.
Keep going.
Kodesh,
And what?
acceptable to Allure, which is your reasonable service.
That's talking about complete, I submit, complete and utter submission. Complete and full obedience and submission is how you present yourself as a living sacrifice. That's how you be a living sacrifice. The sacrifice that we offer, now when you're a living sacrifice, then you can do the sacrifices on the altar, and the Most High receiving, He's pleased with it. But you got to be a living sacrifice, full submission to Yahuwah, full obedience, y'all, in every aspect, every area of your life. A whole burnt offering, a olah offering. All right, hallelujah. Oh, go ahead. You can read two. Go ahead. That's a through one. No, that's actually, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's read verse 2.
And do not be conformed to this world,
This is how you be. This is how you move in obedience. But what up?
but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
But be what?
Transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that true and acceptable and perfect will of Allure.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right. Now, the acacia tree or the shittim wood, the shittah tree. The acacia tree is very thorny. If you look at the thorns of an acacia tree, it's crazy. It's crazy. I submit that the burning bush was an acacia tree. The burning bush was a shittim tree or shittah tree. Where Yahuwah spoke in the midst of the tree, it was burning, but it was never consumed, right? And Yahuwah spoke in the midst of the tree. He spoke from out of the tree. See, the thorns represents sin, right? Because the judgment on Adam and Kawah is like something about thorns and thistles, you know, and things. That was because of their sin. Yeah, and then Yahusha, he was crying. They put on him a crown of thorns. So he was in the midst of a crown of thorns. Them thorns could have easily came from an acacia tree, y'all, easily, because that was the common tree. They're everywhere out there in that region. They were in Jerusalem when he was crowned with thorns. Probably from the same tree that he spoke out, the same type of tree that he spoke out of when he spoke to Moshe. The thorny tree, the acacia tree, that was on fire, but it was not consumed. It makes sense, because think about it. If the shittim tree or the acacia tree, it's about Yahuwah consuming the sacrifice of submission, oh snap, no wonder Yahuwah visited Moshe out of that burning bush acacia tree and told him, okay, now it's time for you. I want you to go back to Mitzrayim. I want you to bring the children of Israel out of Mitzrayim. Y'all know how much submission it would take to do that? He just had to run away from Mitzrayim because his own people snitched on him. His own people got mad at him when he was trying to save them. He thought remember Moshe thought he was content. And Yahuwah said, no, I want you to go back. I want you to bring the children of Israel out of Mitzrayim. And what happened with Moshe? Yahuwah told him to do something, and what happened? At first, he was second guessing, wasn't he? But why? He was hesitant. He was coming with excuses, all the things we be doing. And we talked about this. The whole reason why, because Moshe was probably thinking about his wife and children. He was probably thinking about all that stuff. Because he knew he was going to have to lead him to do this type of work. He knew he might could get killed, anything. Because, man, it's wild out there. Y'all got to go back to Mitzrayim? That's what Yahuwah said to do. This takes utter and, complete submission and obedience to do such a thing. Yahuwah's like, yeah. But did Moshe have a choice? No. Because what Moshe didn't understand, this is what we talked about. He didn't have a choice. Everything Moshe went through was so that he can do this. This is what we're talking about again. No, I'm trying to stay with Yithro, man. I'm happy where I'm at. The whole reason why Yahuwah brought you in with Yithro is to prepare you so you can do this. That's the only reason why you're here. The only reason why I set you up to be with Yithro is so you can go back and do this. But man, I don't want to leave my wife and children. The only reason why you have your wife and children is because I gave them to you. What you talk about? It's the same thing. And this all happened out of the shittim tree, out of the acacia tree, I submit. He had to be that living sacrifice. He had to say, okay, Yahuwah, I'm going to do it. He had no idea what he was getting into. He just had to believe Yahuwah and do it. Yo, you don't have a choice your whole life. If he would have just tried to walk away or something, he would, as soon as he messed up, it was a malak ready to kill him. He didn't have, this is what you was put here for. You don't have no choice. You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. I saved you when you was a baby. You don't got no choice here. You're going to do exactly what I want you to do. Or you can just get killed. Y'all, that's a lot of y'all. Most High done deliver y'all from stuff when y'all was a baby. A lot of y'all shouldn't even been here. But you think you got a choice? Could have let the serpent take you out 20 years ago. But he saved you, he spared you, you owe him. You don't have a choice. Complete and utter submission is what is required. It's not an option, it's what's required of us, y'all. The Most High was like, I'm going to give you over to your aim because he's looking for those who is submitted to him. All right, that makes sense. All right, let's keep going. Go back to Exodus 25, y'all. Let me say this. No, let's keep reading. Exodus 25. I'll get to it. No, I'm going to go ahead and say it because I might forget. All right. So this is another, so think about this, okay? The acacia tree is what's used to make the ark. It's what's used to make the Ark of the Covenant. It's what's used to make the table of showbread. The acacia tree is what Yahuwah spoke out of when he spoke to Moshe and he called Moshe out. And so now they're in the same region, they're in the wilderness, and he wants these things to be made from this same tree. The burning bush was this it was this tree that was burning but was not consumed. And that's why I submit Yahuwah, when it came to the Ark of the Covenant, it was made from an acacia wood, but it was overlaid with gold. That's the symbolic of the burning bush, y'all. Y'all understand why? Y'all understand why? Think what I'm saying, okay? The acacia wood was used to make an Ark of the Covenant, but Yahuwah commanded for it to be made out of acacia wood, but overlaid with pure gold. So in order for this gold to be thub enough to be able to overlay the Ark of the Covenant, this gold had to be pure, tested, tried by the fire. So the acacia wood being overlaid with gold is symbolic of a tree that's burning with fire but not consumed. Because if it's not consumed by the fire, it's purified by the fire, right? Just like gold, tested, tried in the fire. Y'all get what I'm saying now? That's what this is about. It's almost like the Most High had Moshe symbolically replicate in another way what he encountered with Yahuwah when Yahuwah first called him. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Exodus 25.
See where I
Let's
stop.
start with verse 10.
Verse 10.
Yes, sir.
They shall make an ark of acacia wood. 2.5 cubits shall be its length. 1.5 cubits its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. And you shall overlay it with pure gold.
With pure gold. That means this is gold tested, tried in the fire, so that all the impurities will be out of it.
And you shall overlay it with pure gold, inside and out. You shall overlay it. You shall make on it a molding of gold all around. You shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in its 4 corners. 2 rings shall be on one side, and 2 rings on the other side. And you shall make poles of acacia wood,
Okay.
and overlay them with gold.
All right, so now you got these poles made of acacia wood as well. And they need to be overlaid with gold, okay? Now, read verse 14.
You shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, that the ark may be carried by them.
So the ark is carried by these 2 poles, right? Now let's look at the aspect of these 2 poles. So the Hebrew word for the poles is bod, okay? It's bod, and that is, you already on it. So that's bat, and then dalet. Dalet. So that. Perfecto. Perfecto. And then bet dollar, you want to do the pictograph? That's the. All right, let's see if somebody can. That's an easy Hebrew breakdown. Let's see if somebody can give me the Hebrew breakdown for that one. We don't got another mic? No, that's all right. Okay, we do. Okay. Oh, Toda. You do. Perfect. Bet dollar. Toda Rabah.
Access to the house.
She right on it. That's close enough. That's not exactly verbatim though. But did y'all hear what she said? Y'all heard what she said? So I'm going to say it's about those who are able to go into the house, okay? It's about those who are able to go into the house. Those who are able to go into the house. Bed dollars. It's about those who are able to go into the house. It's about those who are able to go into the house. The bed is the house, the dollar is the door. You have these two poles. It's bod. That word also means, Ima Oriya was alluding to it, separation, alone. That Hebrew word means separation, alone. These two poles are set apart. The two poles are set apart. The word literally means separation, alone, things like that. Let's keep reading.
You shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark.
The poles are surrounded by rings. You actually put the poles in the rings of the ark, and what does it say after that?
That the ark may be carried by them.
Hold on. What verse you looking at?
14. I need to go on down.
Oh, okay. I was looking at. Okay, keep reading. Keep reading. My bad. Read verse 15 again. Read verse 15.
The poles shall be in the rings of the ark. They shall not be taken from it.
The poles shall be in the ring of the ark, and they shall not be taken from it, right? All right, that's significant. Because that word for rings is taba'ot, or taba'at, Taba'at. So you have these two poles that goes into the ring. And the scriptures say they shall not, they shall stay like that. It shall not be removed. Taba, iron, and tar. And pictograph would be ted. I know this is smaller. Hopefully it ain't too small for y'all. Bed. Iron or something like this. And then tar. Y'all see that? Okay. So that's tet, bet, iron, tar. Tet, bet, iron, tar. Taba'at. That's the word for ring. Oh, that's the word for ring. That also is about a signet ring, like a covenant ring, a signet ring. The rings that the poles go through, and it has to stay there. And those two poles are bod. It's about those who can go in the house. Those two poles represents the two heads that can go in the house. These are the two heads, the two witnesses. Aharon and Moshe. Because they carry the burden, they bear the weight of the ark. They're the only two people who can go before the ark is Moshe and Aharon. We think Aharon the only one. No, Moshe too. The two poles, the two ones who can go in the house. Bod. This is about the two heads. Yeah. Yes. Why do you think the revelation of the ark came to rebirth? The revelation of the ark was 2022. During the spring feast, and then the fall feast is when that revelation of the ark came. Y'all remember that? Or was that 2023 when the ark came? 2022, right? I thought so. Told out. I thought so. That's what I thought. Praise Yahusha. That was when the ark came out. Why y'all think the revelation of the ark came to rebirth? Yeah. Y'all remember y'all remember that Sukkot when Yahuwah gave me that revelation surrounding around the two cherubim, the two lions that cover the ark, that cover the ark. And that the two cherubim, we're going to talk about the cherubim too. Y'all gotta understand, this stuff is real. This stuff is real. Aharon and Moshe, during that time, that represented the two poles that buried the weight of the ark. The two people who can go into the house. All right, y'all. All right. So the breakdown. It surrounds around the gift of the covenant given to those who know the house. Gift of the covenant given to those who know the house. It can be a lonely walk. That's why when you look up the word bod, it's I didn't put the H number on there, but y'all can see it in y'all. It means lonely. It means separation. It's separated, set apart. It can be a lonely walk, but it's only those who are set apart who can go into the house. It's only those who are set apart who are able to go into the house, bod. The door to who can go in there. I got to pray on it first. I'm telling y'all about this vision I had a while ago. But I'll follow up with y'all on that one. It's in regards to this. Those two poles represent the two witnesses. It represents the two heads. Aharon and Moshe, etc. That's why the two poles go in. They're surrounded by these rings. That's the signet ring. No, who wears the signet ring? Okay, hallelujah. Y'all look up that word, taba'at, it literally, that's what it means. Ring, like a signet ring. Remember when Joseph got the signet ring? It was given to him from who? Pharaoh. This nobility who is surrounded by the rings. The golden ring. That's probably why them scrolls were surrounded by them, right? Yeah, you was thinking about that? Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, let's keep reading.
The poles shall be in the rings of the ark. They shall not be taken from it. And you shall put into the ark the testimony which I will give you. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2.5 cubits shall be its length, and a cubit and a half its width.
So the mercy seat that is on the Ark of the Covenant, that's kaporet. That's the mercy seat. Kaporet. It's not a hesed seat. It's not. That's not the word. When you look at Hebraically, it's just not really what it's saying. In what we call it in English, it's not really what it's saying. Kaporet, that comes from kapur, like atonement, covering. It's almost like a covering according to the covenant, but I did do a breakdown. Kaf Pei, Resh, Tav, and it is about giving a word to the head according to the covenant. Giving a word to the head according to the covenant. Giving a word to the head according to the covenant. Kaporet. So you know that's a head, because, man, in the pictograph, it's a dude with a fro. Yeah. That's crazy. I ain't looked at it like that before. But Kaporet. So it is about the mercy seat. It's surrounded around to give a word to the head, to give a word to the head according to the covenant. Y'all see that? The hand to give, to pay a word to the rosh according to the covenant. Y'all see that? Y'all see how I got that? To give a word to the head according to, my bad, I'm gonna have to go a little fast on my writing, y'all. I ain't gonna be as through. To the covenant. Oh man, that's small. Yeah, told her. Much appreciated. To give a word to the head according to the covenant. Yeah, that's perfect. Because Yahuwah said in that chapter that Yahuwah is going to speak to them from the mercy seats. Y'all get it? He said it's from the mercy seat he's going to speak to them. Yeah, y'all remember that? Y'all read the Torah portion, right? Y'all remember when Yahuwah said he was going to speak to him. He was going to speak to Moshe from the mercy seat. In between the cherubim is what it says in the Torah, in this chapter. Because it's kaporet, which is about giving a word to the head according to the covenant. That's he goes. Yahuwah gives him a word, gives the head who is Moshe a word, or Aharon a word according to the covenant. Y'all following that? To give the word? Okay, it's making so. That's an important one. Because, again, this is supporting that the burning bush was an acacia tree, because that's what happened. Yahuwah went before the acacia tree, and what? Yahuwah spoke to him from the midst of the acacia tree. Yeah. That was on fire but not consumed, just like the golden mercy seat that is cut. That's really acacia wood overlaid with gold. That's tried with the fire because it's pure gold. Gold that's tested and tried by the fire, which is symbolic of the burning bush, or the burning wood, the burning tree. Because it's overlaid with gold that was burned in the furnace, but not consumed. Yahuwah spoke to Moshe out of that burning bush in the midst of the fire, just as he's speaking to, he said I'm gonna speak to Moshe in the midst of from the mercy seat that's on top of the ark. All right. Let's keep reading.
Okay, verse 18. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold, of hammered work. You shall make them at the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make 1 cherub at one end, and the other cherub at the other end.
All right. All right, y'all. We almost done, but we got to get this one. This is important. The cherubim. They're on the mercy seat. They're at the ends of the mercy seat. And there's one on one end and one on the other end, okay? All right. That Hebrew word is cherub. It's cherub, which is kaf, resh, uwa, bet. You gonna do it? Okay, hold on. Kaf, resh, uwa, bet. All right. Told our about very much. So, the breakdown for cherub, it's about covering the head and securing the house. So it's about covering. So the kaf is like a hand and a palm. Also, it's surrounded around covering as well. Covering the head and securing the house. Okay? Covering the head or the rosh, y'all see what I'm saying? And securing the house. Boom. Covering the head and securing the house. I submit that is the function of a cherub. Covering the head and securing the house. Let's keep reading Exodus 25.
Okay, make one cherub at one end and the other cherub at the other end. You shall make the cherubim at the two ends of it of one piece with the mercy seat. And the cherubim shall stretch out their wings above, covering the mercy seat with their wings.
Shall stretch out their wings above, doing what?
Covering the mercy seat with their wings.
Doing what?
Covering the mercy seat.
So part of the cherub's function is to cover. It's about covering the head. It's securing the house. So when it has the wings to cover the mercy seat, it's probably number one to cover the head. Like when I mean to cover the head, like when Moshe and them come through there, maybe it's some sort of protection for them. It won't be too much kabod, won't be too much. So the wings covers. So then when the Most High comes through and speaks to them, it won't be too much. You see what I'm saying? It's about covering the head and securing the house. The cherubs, I submit, are like guardians that protect and secure things. You see what I'm saying? So, did anybody read Shoshone vision? She sent. So the Most High had me look at this vision. I think it was like last night. I just didn't know what it meant. But then I was like, oh snap! Then Most High gave me some understanding today. But she just sent it not too long ago. It was basically she was here and she saw Malak on the four corners just standing like the nutcracker. Did y'all see that one in the chat? Y'all, those are cherubs. Those were cherubs, y'all. Those were cherubim, y'all. Yes. Yes. They are like, they're these high-ranked Malachim that cover and protect. They like guardian Malachim. I don't want to say guardian angels, man, because I know that's just something that was always used a lot. But it's like their function. They guard, they protect. Like even Eden, it was a cherub who had the flaming swords to guard the way to Eden, so couldn't nobody go in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was cherubs here. 4 of them. But there are these malaks who guard and protect. She saw them sitting still like statues. You know what I'm saying? Literally, the cherubs on the mercy seat, they were made out of gold, and they were like statues because they were made out of gold to sit there, but they represented the chair. Because, man, when you're talking about the cherubim, like, it's almost like they just function. Like, you had the cherub still guard of Eden forever. They just stand guard with flaming swords. Like, that's how they roll. You get what I'm saying? Like, they don't leave. They there. Ain't nobody getting into Eden unless you're like when they guard, it's over. Ain't nobody gonna be able to like get past that. You see what I'm saying? It's done. Like when the Torah said that Yahuwah had a cherub to guard Eden, oh, it's over. Ain't nobody getting into Eden. And it might have been, it's a lot to that, because think about it. How did the serpent get into Eden? See, that could have been an aspect of it too. That could have been an aspect of it too. Y'all ever wonder, like, because what do you do if the serpent creeps into the main sanctuary? You purge the evil out the camp. Oh, we going in. Get out, come out. It may be through deliverance. You know what I'm saying? It may be through, whatever, or purge evil. Unfortunately, it can manifest as a person who has to be purged out. You see what I'm saying? Purge evil out the camp. Why is that a big deal to Yahuwah? That was the requirement, to purge evil out the camp. Could have been because Adam, that was his job. You were supposed to get, oh man, the serpent was in Eden? How? You were supposed to kick him up out of there immediately. How did the serpent just be chilling in Eden? Oh yeah, nobody getting in Eden. Cherub, guard the way. Now nobody getting in there mug. Ain't no serpent finna get in there. Nobody. He did that to Yasharel before. He said, "I'm gonna leave the land desolate, so that the land can rest and be replenished. I'm gonna leave it where nobody can go there. Since y'all didn't want to follow the laws, y'all didn't want to do what I said and all these things like that, nobody come. I'm going to leave the land desolate." There was a time when Yasharel was just desolate. Couldn't nobody go. Yahuwah had it where nobody was going now. All right, y'all. Let's keep those things in mind. Let's keep reading. We're almost done.
You shall put the mercy seat on top of the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony that I will give you. And there I will meet with you, and I will speak with you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim which are on the ark of the testimony, about everything which I will give you in commandment to the children of Israel. Keep going.
Keep going.
Verse 23. You shall also make a table of acacia wood. 2 cubits shall be its length.
Okay, so now it's time for the table of showbread. Notice that that's made out of acacia wood, right? But keep going.
A cubit is width, and a cubit and a half is height. And you shall overlay it with pure gold. Make a molding of gold all around.
Make a molding of gold. So you see, even this is acacia wood, but it's overlaid with gold. Pure gold. Keep going.
You shall make for it a frame of a handbreadth all around. And you shall make a gold molding for the frame all around. And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold.
You got the rings again. Keep going.
And put the rings on the 4 corners that are at its 4 legs. The rings should be close to the frame as holders for the poles to bear the table. And you shall make the poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold, that the table may be carried with them.
Okay, so now you have the table that's carried by 2 poles. Probably 2 poles. I got to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's 2 poles for those as well. And they go through the rings. Keep going.
Verse 29, you shall make its dishes, its pans, its pitchers, and its bowls for pouring. You shall make them of pure gold.
So all the utensils are made of pure gold. Those are not acacia wood overlaid with gold. Those are made with pure gold. Keep going.
And you shall set the showbread on the table before me always.
The showbread, I don't know if y'all noticed, but it's 12 loaves of bread. We know that represents the 12 tribes. That represents the nation, the showbread. And it's on this table that's of acacia wood. And these 2 poles is to carry the table as well. It's about bearing the burdens of the nation. It's about bearing these are what the 2 heads do. That's why when y'all read in the next Torah portion, when it goes through the about the garments of the high priest, it says that the high priest, which was Aaron at this time, had to wear this breastplate that had the 12 jewels that represent the 12 tribes of Israel, and it said because he has to bear the burden of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's how it goes. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 31.
But this table was before Yahuwah always, and that table held the 12 loaves of bread, the showbread. So keep that in mind. Let's keep going.
You shall also make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand shall be of hammered work. Its shaft, its branches, its bowls, its ornamental knobs and flowers shall be on one piece. And 6 branches shall come out of its sides. 3 branches of the lampstand out of one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side.
All right, so now we got the menorah, okay? And we know that the menorah is a tree as well. But this is different, huh? Because this ain't using the acacia tree. This is made out of pure gold. Inside and out. A beaten work. Oh, snap. A beaten work. Beaten. Let's keep going.
Okay, verse 33. 3 bowls shall be made like almond blossoms on
It
one
should be
branch.
made like what?
Almond blossoms
All right.
on one branch.
We was just talking about this on the prep day call about the almond tree. Then it came up again on at the offering. The menorah is an almond tree. So now we're not looking at an acacia tree now. See? Interesting. 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 For real though. For real. Because when you look at the Holy of Holies, which is where the Ark of the Covenant is at, that's in the womb. That's in the womb. That's in the depths of the belly. And now we're talking about the holy place. The holy place is where you see the table of showbread, acacia wood. Is where you see the menorahs in the holy place. It's not in the Holy of Holies. The Holy of Holies has the cherubim, the poles, the Ark of the Covenant. So that's the womb. But now we're in the holy place, which is the holy place. You know what I'm saying? We talked about this before. Married folks, the holy place is the Kodesh place. That's what it's symbolic of. And now we see this thing called the menorah. And it's a tree that's on fire. Oh, snap. Like the burning bush. Because that's what the ark represented. The Ark of the Covenant represented a burning bush. The burning bush was an acacia tree, though. It wasn't an almond tree. But now we're looking at an almond tree that's on fire. It's on fire that it has to be on fire continually. 24/7, the fire can never go out. It's a beaten work made out of pure gold. Yahuwah ain't speaking to nobody through to people through the. He's not speaking to people through the menorah though, huh? He's speaking through people. He's speaking to the two poles though, through the mercy seat in the Holy of Holies, but not through the menorah. But according to the scriptures, Yahushua's in the midst of the menorah. The Revelation 1, for time we won't go there, but if you go to Revelation 1, because we already went too little long, but if you go to Revelation 1, it talks about how Yahushua's in the midst of the menorah. It calls them the golden lampstands. That's the menorah. Y'all know that, right? When you go in the Brit Hadashah, when it talks about the golden lampstand, that's the menorah. He's in the midst of it says he's in the midst of them. Okay. So we know that the priest be in the midst of the menorah, tending and keeping it all the time. Remember, Yahushua's the bridegroom. Yahushua's the bridegroom. Tending and keeping, to guard, to shamar, to abide, to guard and to serve. Ain't that kind of like what a husband is supposed to do as well, a husbandman? Just to guard, to protect, and to serve. As far as his household, his family, his Isha, tending and keeping. Yahuwah told Adam and Kawah, he told Adam, that his job was to abide and shamar, right? To guard and to keep. Shamar abad, yeah. That's how Yahushua was moving as the second Adam, the scriptures call him, when it comes to the menorah. All right, let's keep reading.
3 bowls should be made like almond blossoms on one branch, with an ornamental knob.
Just go ahead and skip to verse 37.
Sir, 37. You shall make 7 lamps for it, and they shall arrange its lamps so that they give light in front of it.
So, it's interesting, man, for real. Because it's like now this menorah is able to give this light off continually. Like that acacia tree was able to give light off continually. Verse 38.
And its wick trimmers and their trays shall be of pure gold.
Just read verse 40.
And see to it that you make them according to the pattern which was shown to you on the mountain.
So this is from the Shamayim. All right, so let's look at menorah, and then we'll go ahead and close after this. Let's look at menorah, y'all. Let's look at menorah. It's Mem Nun Uwa Resh Hey. I think is how you spell it. I forgot to put it in my notes, but I think I got it down by memory. It's H4501, and I believe it's Mem Nun Uwa Resh Hey. Mem Nun Uwa Resh Hey. Think so. Menorah Resh Hey, yeah. And so, yeah, hallelujah. Man, I would love it. All right, so let's do that one. That'll be the last one. So what we can do is we can erase, let's erase this, Shatah. Let's erase Shatah. Oh, hold on. So, Total Rabbah, greatly appreciate it. So, it's about the seed while in the nations being secured to the heads of Yahuwah by the Ruach HaKodesh. All right, I'll write it down. It's about the seed while in the nations being secured to who? Yes, by the Ruach HaKodesh. It's about the seed while in the nations being secured to the head by the Ruach HaKodesh. It's the Ruach that brought y'all here. It's the Ruach that you were secured to the heads by the Ruach HaKodesh. You were secured to the Melachim by the Ruach HaKodesh. You were secured here to me by the Ruach HaKodesh, to me and Emet. Yahusha, remember y'all, when Yahusha was asking Kepha, he's like, who do people say I am? And Kepha was like, some people say you're Elijah, some people you say you are the prophets or something like that. And Yahusha was like, okay, well, who you say I am? And he said, man, you son of the Most High. What did he say? You Hamashiach? Yahusha, son of the Most High, some of the living Alua. He said, he gave him the right answer. But the point is, Yahusha was like, flesh and blood couldn't have revealed that to you. In other words, that was the Ruach that secured you to me. It's the Ruach that secures you to Yahusha. The way that the Ruach will secure you to Yahusha is by securing you to his heads. That's how it works. You weren't that smart to come and be in this. You were not that smart. All these teachers out here and the Malek's minister to y'all, the heads that were raised up by Yahuwah. A lot of these dudes, they weren't raised up by the Most High. A lot of dudes raised themselves up because they can speak well and they got doctorates and they got degrees and stuff and they articulate or they have charisma and they feel like they can make some bread like that. But y'all didn't minister to y'all, even though a lot of them have way bigger followings. A lot of them have way more, way bigger ministries. Way more people follow them, much bigger YouTube follow them. YouTube, man, the camps, oh man, they YouTube followers off the charts compared to Rebirth. For real. But they didn't minister to y'all. How come? How come the Melachim ministered to y'all? Y'all saying, I'm trying to be here. I'm trying to be with Rebirth. Y'all came and reaching out to the Melachim, reaching out to us. Hey, you know, I saw it online. That really ministered to me. How? Y'all not that smart. That was the Ruach. Y'all were chosen. Shimshon and Hoda had a story when they did something. They just like spin the ball, spin the globe. I can't remember what they said. And they said, we're going to look, that's what we're going to move to. And it fell on Austin. They're like, okay, we ain't never been there before, but all right, let's go. And then how much long after that before y'all met us? What, a year or two? Or year or two later, they run into us. They meet us through another arc. We still in the library. Wasn't nobody thinking it was Yahuwah's plan to get them into the eternal excellency? We was in the library. We was just trying to gather so we can follow Torah, you know, follow Yahuwah. They didn't realize that the Most High gave them Austin on purpose. That was the Ruach, yo. The menorah is about the seed while in the nations. We're the seed that's in the midst of the nations. The seed is the Kodesh seed. Yasharel in the midst of the nations, being secured to the head by the Ruach. The menorah is about you. The beaten work, those who've been in captivity, the beaten work, those who've been afflicted and beaten. Who Yahuwah secures to his heads by the Ruach. The menorah is about the assemblies. That's why in the Brit Hadashah, when Yahusha talks about the menorahs, he's referring to the 7 assemblies in Revelation. That they were the 7 menorahs. That's what he talked. Again, for time we're not gonna go there, but we talked about it before. Revelation chapter 1, it goes into those things. Yahushua says things like, "Hey, follow me, or I'll take their lamp out," and things like that. The assemblies was the menorah. The menorah is about you. The menorah is about the awakening. That's why it was an almond tree, which means awake, to awake. It wasn't an acacia tree, it was a different tree. Listen, the menorah is about Abraham's bosom, y'all. That's what the menorah is about. Abraham's bosom is the sanctuaries in the places where we were scattered in the midst of the nations. Where Yahuwah by his Ruach attaches you and secures you to his heads. By the Ruach, now you're in the menorah. You part of the menorah in Abraham's bosom, y'all. That was Abraham's bosom. Abraham was in the midst of the Canaanites. But by the Ruach, there was a lot of people who was secured to, who was attached to Abraham. In the midst of this just wicked place. All this wickedness. But then you had Abraham. It was, see, I know back in the day I used to read about Abraham. I was thinking it was just Abraham and maybe a few people. No, hundreds and hundreds of people. That was Abraham's bosom. He had 318 men to be able to go to war when they had to. That's the concept of the almond tree, Abraham's bosom. I remember Al-Kalesh had this vision. We were talking about this earlier. You remember that one? In Abraham's bosom and the almond blossoms?
So I had this vision where I was in the Abraham's bosom, I was in Sheol, and then I was going through, and then a Malachim from the through part of Abraham's bosom pulled me over. He kind of like dragged me over, and I remember multiple Malachim dragging me, but I can see people on the other side in the raw part of Abraham's bosom, like in torment. So that was pretty much the gist.
What kind of trees did you see? You remember that?
Oh yeah, the very beginning, I was walking, it looked like a building. I was walking in, they had like a throne, a chair, and then I saw these almond trees, and then they were blossoming. And then after that, that's when I got pulled into Abraham's bosom from there.
About how many trees did you see?
I think I saw about 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Because the almond tree, the almond blossom is about Abraham's bosom. It's about these set apart people in this awakening who are in the midst of the nations, who Yahuwah chooses and secures to his heads to basically be in his set apart place in the midst of the nations. And they end up being like this light to the nations. Like, that's why the menorah has to be lit at all times. It has to be on fire at all times. Today at the offering, I believe it was Hadassah or Eminah saw the almond blossoms, the almond trees. In Washington, D.C., they do the cherry blossoms, which looks very similar to the almond blossoms. Who was that? You talking about that, Simca? Somebody brought it up. Yasha, somebody. But I remember my mom went to visit Washington, D.C. maybe a couple of years ago, and she sent me the picture of the famous cherry blossoms. And they up and down, literally, the where the White House is, I guess, or one of the monuments, Washington Monument. Y'all know I don't be studying that stuff. Anybody know? What is it called? It's that pool, and ain't it in front of like the White House or something? That's in between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. Interesting, they had the Million Man March there at one time when all the people went, the Hebrews went and did the million. It was the same area, same place. It's like this area. But I submit they were copying that off of the Shamayim. It's like they was trying to copy that almost off of Abraham's bosom in a sense, because the almond blossoms are in the holy place, which represents the kingdom, which makes way to the throne room. Which makes way to the throne room in the Holy of Holies. You have the menorah there. In Solomon's temple, there was 10 of them. There was 10 menorah there that you had to walk through to get to the Holy of Holies. And so in Washington, D.C., they have these lines of cherry blossoms that literally line up between the Washington Monument and what he said, Lincoln Memorial. Yeah. Because y'all got to understand, when you're talking about Washington, D.C., that's their Jerusalem. That's the capital city of Babylon, Washington, D.C. That's their Jerusalem. Jerusalem is our capital city. So anyway, the irony is crazy, but all praise to the Most High. Told out to Yahuwah and Yahusha.
Rebirth of a nation, Hebrew kingdom building.